You all right, guys?
Don, a lot of supporters will be dancing on the buses and the trains tonight, but we don't see you get too excited very often. What's your reaction from that?
Yeah, it was a really pleasing win. Talk about our supporters and members, and again, 51,500 turned up, and it's a great atmosphere. And I'm, talking to our players, they love playing here, and it's the support they get is fantastic. So to all those people that turned up, wonderful, and really pleasing the performance of the guys tonight.
What won it for you?
Oh, look, it was a real arm wrestle, to be honest. I mean, it ebbed and flowed. And it was a tight contest, and you expect that from a game against Sydney, that quality opposition, seasoned campaigners. Contest was tight all night, and look, in the end of it, we came out on top, which was pleasing. And I just think it was through perseverance.
Don, you know what sort of pressure Sydney are going to bring. Was the idea for the boys not just to handle that when they had the footy, but to throw it back on them and try and get in their face and sort of fight back that way as well?
Oh, we want to make sure when we're playing that we can play in all phases, and the contest was always going to be vital tonight, and I think at the end of it was pretty even overall. And we got the ball. We wanted to try and move it. Now, to Sydney's credit, they put a lot of pressure on, which at times forces into turnovers. But to our guys' credit, I thought we kept taking the game on in that area, which allowed us to keep the scoreboard ticking over, which was pleasing.
What was the most pleasing thing? Like you in the first quarter, you seemed to be getting beaten midfield, and then you sort of got on top of it. Was that turnaround, was that the most pleasing thing, or what was it? Yeah,
look, I think it was the perseverance. As I said, it ebbed and flowed. Perseverance and consistency again. As I said, probably the previous 2 weeks, the consistency of our group across games and individually in terms of their contribution. It's hard to sit here and say this guy was a standout. We're just getting a really good, even contribution of guys playing their role with a real team-first attitude, and that's what we've asked all along, and that's what we're getting, which is really, I think, creating the way we're playing and getting some of the results.
Given the quality of Sydney, Don, and that perseverance you talk about, does a win like this mean more than just 4 points, psychologically speaking, I mean?
Oh, I don't know so much about that. I mean, clearly it's 4 points. It probably helps a bit in terms of belief. The guys walk away from tonight knowing that they've faced a really strong, fierce opposition and came away and got a win. I think that's a positive.
Have you been pleasantly surprised, Don, by the start to the season?
No, I don't know about surprise. We face each game with the anticipation. We're preparing. We're playing to win, and that's what we aim to do each week. So no, is what it is.
I think the league changed 11 times tonight.
Yeah.
They challenged you late a couple of times with Heaney's goal. Were you pleased with the composure and the cool heads late in the game?
Yeah, look, it's always tough when you get into a close game and a tight finish. And I thought again our leaders on ground showed some good signs, and as I said, we're able to find a way. Component of that is composure, a component of that is effort, and we had some, as I said to the players after the game, we had I think to a man, when each was called at some point, they stood up and did what we wanted them to do, and they stepped forward, which is what you want from a coaching viewpoint, and it was really, as I said, really pleasing to get that response and to get that result.
Well, you played a lot of first option footy when you really gave quickly and played on. Is that the way you want to play, or is it a little bit tailored towards Sydney so that they can't hold you up?
Oh no, that's probably a bit of how we want to play. I mean, we look at each opposition and try and adapt a little bit and be flexible. So our game style has to be flexible enough to play against opposition. But we're like most teams. Most teams will train a particular way and they'll try and play that way. It's not always possible because of the opposition. So we've got to be able to adapt. And I thought tonight we adapted reasonably well. I think at times early we might have been guilty of a bit of overuse of handball, but I think after a while we started to move the ball forward and it gave our forwards the best opportunity.
Did you try and keep a lid on it now, Don, or do you let them soak it up this start to the season and tonight?
Oh, look, I said to the players afterwards, it's important they enjoy and they celebrate what they achieved tonight. But it's got to basically last for probably tonight. We've got 6 days into Hawthorn next Friday night, and there's no bigger challenge than Hawthorn at the MCG. So, but it's important they enjoy and they reflect on it together and understand that that sort of collective bond that they're creating is what can help create things on the field. So it's important they do that, but we have to move on pretty quickly because we've got a big game next Friday night.
They got you on the slingshot a bit, especially in the second half.
Yep.
Buddy got out the back a couple of times. Is that just the way the game was played and the way they were setting up, or is that an area that you guys need to maybe address?
It's probably a bit of the way the game was played. There's a couple of times where we got done in contests which allowed the ball into their midfield, and then the way we're setting up it means that you're potentially exposed out the back. So probably just the way the game was played. But we'll review it and have a look at the tape and see what that shows us and how we might be able to keep improving. And the important thing out of tonight is, again, as I said to the players, is there's a lot of real positives, but there's still so many areas we've got to keep working on, improving on. So we take those positives and we try and keep working on the things that we need to, and get ready for next week.
I individualise with Rory Atkins and Mitch McGovern, two of the younger blokes, are really chipping in. You must be pleased with their development, particularly Atkins, how he's responded to the band pre-season, I guess.
Oh yeah, look, the band's well and truly behind us. I mean, for all those guys, whether it's those two or other players, it's all about, for us, continual improvement. And we want individually and collectively to get better, and that's what we train for, and that's what we we review for. And for guys to take steps forward is what we like. And it's pleasing, for say Rory tonight in particular. His game I thought was really solid. Good reward for some of the work he's been doing.
Scott Thompson's 250th, does it make it a little bit sweeter?
Yeah, look, it was obviously a massive achievement, 250 games at a footy club, and I was here when Tomo first started. I was a midfield coach back then, and he came into the club, and I think over 250 games he's really proven to be a great player for the footy club and a real warrior, and we saw that again tonight. Some of his effort around the contest sets a really high standard for our expectations, and it was pleasing obviously to get a result for Scott tonight.
Where's he changed most, do you think, from your first sighting of him here?
Has he changed most?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's matured. I think when he first started, he was a bit of a bull at a gate, and I think he's now matured. He's got a really good footy brain, and he's a really strong leader. He's really grown into a really strong leader in that area. So yeah, it's pleasing for Scott.
Injury-wise, how'd you pull up?
Injury-wise, we're okay. We've got a couple of guys. We'll probably just get checked and see how they recover. But early signs are good.
Jacob's all right?
Yeah, he's fine. He's got a bit of a knock on the knee.
Rory Sloan doesn't mind the cap in rotations, does he? He's just a workhorse, isn't he?
Oh yeah, look, Rory would be one of the guys, again, without highlighting individuals, who finds a way, and really pleasing. And it's part of our leadership group, and that's what you want from your leaders, especially in these tight games, is really to stand up. So.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're just rolling for